What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. Today, I'm going to be showcasing the newly buffed Tinkaton in the Go Battle League. Tinkaton, if you had no idea what just happened this weekend, it was given a community day where it got access to Gigaton Hammer. Now, this move might very well be the best charge attack ever given to any Pokemon in Great League. It's a clone of Origin Pulse and Precipice Blades, the signature attacks of Groudon and Kyogre. If just a regular Pokemon that's pretty bulky has access to this in Great League, I can only imagine the devastation it can bring. It's one of the best moves in the game. I'm excited to see what it can do. Real quick though, before we get into the battles, I want to ask if you're not currently subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. It helps out quite a bit and I'd really appreciate it. But let's get into the battles and see what Tinkaton can do in action. Alright, first game of the day. We'll see Tinkaton as our lead up against Shadow Empoleon, and that is that like a tiny Empoleon, or am I just crazy here? That looks so small though. I know this isn't an amazing lead, but I do have Bulldoze here. I want to see how much it does. I wish I could Gigaton Hammer, but unfortunately not exactly the matchup for that. That would probably do a lot less than Bulldoze, despite the fact Gigaton Hammer is insane. Let's see what's going to happen here. They do let that go. We get a defense drop, which is nice. We go for a catch attempt. We don't get a catch, but, I mean, likely they throw anyway. And I think I'm fine going for a shield on one, no shielding the second, going for a waterfall down, and then having a lot of energy for whatever they have in the back. Or they bring in a Shadow Flygon here, actually, which is going to take quite a bit of damage just from my waterfalls. They do have access to probably Sand Tomb, maybe Scorching Sands or Earth Power, depending on what they really want to run. And they still have a Hydro Cannon in the back on the other guy. So keep that in mind. I think I'm going to shield this up, actually. It seems like they're a little bit scared of Empoleon. We shield the Scorching. That's a good shield. Okay. I mean, I think the play here is pretty straightforward. I think I just come in Altaria. I will take a Twister in the process, but I should be able to make them throw energy against Altaria here with a Flygon, and then we Dragon Breath down. We'll have energy just in case we need it for the backline. We still have our two Steel types around as well, in case there's like a Fairy type. I'd imagine there's a chance there's like a Tinkaton in the backline. Who wouldn't want to try out the newly released Tinkaton on the Tinkaton Calm Day? And that is exactly what we see here. Unfortunately for me, it's against my Altaria, so I don't know if I'm going to get a second move off. If I get a second Flamethrower, I'm pretty happy. If I can't, that could be bad. That does two-shot, though. That's good to know. We get energy out of them. Bulldoze might not be enough here to knock me out. It's going to be, honestly, kind of close either way. They do Bulldoze. We survive it, but we don't quite get that next move off there. That is a bit of a shame. Okay, we'll go for a Gigaton Hammer catch on Empoleon here. Is this even a good play? I don't know. They have a Hydro Cannon on the other guy. Oh, that still does so much! That's not even a good catch! That does like half my HP. That's insane. I know that Empoleon's still very much alive, and it has a Hydro Cannon as well. Dang, okay, so Gigaton Hammer's just kind of busted. I thought I'd survive that a little bit better, to at least force them to throw a second move, but they just farm us down there. Now I have no energy for the Empoleon. They just have a move. And, like, even if this doesn't knock us out, there's still a Flygon, but I bet a Shadow Hydro Cannon is going to be enough. Dang it, man. My Altaria just got in the worst spot this game. Honestly, I was in kind of a tricky spot through and through. Ah, man, that's kind of rough, though. Alright, we gotta not lose the lead this time. Tinkaton into Togekiss. Okay. I would imagine this is one of those matchups that you definitely need to land that Gigaton Hammer into. And that can get a little bit more awkward, potentially, depending on what they do. Because they likely are going to try to go for a catch at some point. They're just over-farming, though. That's interesting. This should one-shot him pretty easily. Maybe I should have gone for a bait, but I feel like a bait is such a risky play. A shield. Okay, they're back-to-back Aura Spheres. I should survive one. I don't know if I survive the second, though. I know Tink is kind of bulky, but it's not as bulky as, like, I don't know, Galarian Corsola and Pokemon like that, so it's not that bulk tier. But I think I survive this, and I should get another Gigaton Hammer through him. So I'm going to let this go. If they end up going and catching on something, that's fine. I think we do a lot of damage no matter what happens here. They do catch. I wish they didn't, but it's still fine. We saw what Gigaton Hammer did to me earlier in this set, so I mean, it's still not terrible, I guess. And it's not like we're unplayable into Empoleon in the backline. In fact, we can overfarm a lot of energy here, potentially. They're at 8, so they're at back-to-back into more Metal Sounds. I would love to be able to knock them out here with my Flamethrower, and just make it so they don't get a second move off them. I'll go for the flamethrower. We'll see if we end up getting a shield or if they let it go and try to survive. There's a chance they might live on, like, one. No, they don't. Nice. Togekiss probably comes back in. Unless they have a hard counter. Like a real fairy, I should say. They must not, because they do bring this in. I should survive a Psyshock here. And hopefully I can get a Sky Attack against them. And then I guess I just have to hope that Shield Advantage Empoleon... Oh my goodness, they're on Dazzling Gleam. Okay, I mean, that's still fine, I guess. But that is not the moveset I was expecting. So they are a little bit better into Altaria than I would have thought there. But they did have to use a lot of energy to land that attack. I should be able to one-shield farm this down, and hopefully use this energy against whatever's in the back line to win. We'll see what's in the back, though. Aegis Slash. Okay. I think we're fine because we're on Waterfall. So if they no-shield 2 Hydro Cannons, I just Waterfall down. And if they end up shielding, then, you know, I probably just get to 3 anyway. Yeah, we do a lot of damage here. We'll see, though, exactly how much damage we can do over time, because Aegis Slash is pretty bulky. They're still above half HP. So I need to try to go for a full farm down here. But once they go into sword form, they're going to be in a spot where they take so much damage from fast move pressure. Yeah, I think we're fine. They're not at back-to-back here. I can shield this up. One more Waterfall guarantees a knockout. And then we should be able to farm down that Togekiss as well. Eventually. You know, that's the plan in about an hour from now, once Aegis Slash is done wasting all of our time. Okay, they can actually swap there, which is a smart play. It's going to put them back into shield form. But the thing is, I am almost at 2 Hydro Cannons, and they're not at back-to-back, as we were saying. So, yeah, we get the win. Aegis Slash, so dramatic, but Tinkaton comes out on top. All right, next opponent. Tinkaton into Wheezing. I don't love that, actually. Despite the fact that I have a lot of super effective damage. Well, I love that. Oh, my goodness. How much damage does a Gigaton Hammer do to an Azumarill? I'm excited to find out, I guess. I would imagine this... Does it two-shot? I don't know. It's a good move. I'd be kind of surprised if it two-shots. It two-shots. Wow. Okay. Well, that shouldn't be. That should not be possible. Well, they're over 100 energy right now. This might be crazy, but I'm going to shield this. I don't want to take a Hydro Pump. Yeah, okay. And if they want to get a Hydro Pump off now, then they can be my guest. But, oh, well, if they don't CMP us, then I can just have a second move if they shield. They probably don't shield, I guess. We'll see what they're going to do. They do let that go. I have a lot of energy here. If I need to, I can swap out of my Empoleon here. What is this? Oh my goodness, Force Palm Lucario. Okay, I think we're in a pretty good spot here, because they kind of have to shield this up. I can bring in my Altaria against this, and then our Tinkaton should be fine against that Wheezing. They do get 4 Force Palms here, so keep that in mind. But Altaria should be good enough just to, like, neutralize the damage that they have. And then Tinkaton should be very good into Wheezing, as long as I don't, like, let an Overheat through. Maybe a Meteor Mash coming through, maybe a Shadow Ball. I don't honestly know the moveset in this meta. It's probably a Meteor Mash, though, if I had to guess. Yeah, makes sense. Okay, don't fall for the catch there. And we're in a pretty good spot. Am I crazy? Am I, like, absolutely insane right now? Or is that not even enough energy for an Overheat? That's just a Sludge. Why are they sludging me? I don't know. I think I'm fine here, though. I have a Sky Attack in the backline. I also have access to a Bulldoze here in just a second. We easy one-shot, I suppose. Yeah, we just get a Bulldoze off. Or we force energy out of them. And either way, we should win. I'm gonna no-shield this. Thunder Punch, we survived that. Although we probably don't get a move off, but that's fine. I didn't want to shield that and then, like, have them farm us down and then lose the game that way. I know Altaria is going to be bulky enough here to be able to just Dragon Breath down anyway. And, yeah, we should be fine. That was an interesting way to play that out on their part. I don't think they should have honestly swapped out of the lead. Although, saying they sludged our Tinkaton, they're probably not even on Overheat, so that's kind of crazy to me. They're just so weak to it. All right, next opponent. I liked that last game. Hopefully more teams like that. I don't love that, though. Actually, I'm a little bit soft to this Pokemon, but I bet Tinkaton can make this annoying for A-Slash. They are on Shadow Claw, which actually makes it a little bit more annoying for me, where I take Fast Move Pressure here, right? Where I wouldn't otherwise. But I think that's honestly kind of fine. I can survive this no matter what. And honestly, I'm just going to Gigaton Hammer. I'm going to full send because I want to get his shield, or I want to get them... I don't know if this knocks out. It probably doesn't straight up one-shot, but it would put them into a farm down range. So we'll switch out here. One Waterfall knocks out the A-Slash, and now we don't have to worry about an Ice type potentially with our Altaria. There is a Shadow Giratina that ends up coming in, which, I mean, I don't necessarily love seeing this here. But it's not terrible. I don't know. What would be in the back line at this point? They've shown a Dragon and a Steel, so maybe they have a Fairy. Maybe it's a Tinkaton in the back. I could see that, honestly. I think the play is always going to be to keep my Empoleon around if I can. Shield up a Shadow Sneak, probably. Yeah, they don't go for a bait there. That's good. I'm going to go for Hydro Cannons now, just in case they go for a catch. I don't know if they would there, but I want to play it safe because, you know, a Drill Peck is a much less efficient move. Okay. Okay. We go for a catch attempt. Doesn't quite work out, although we do bait out the final Pokemon, and it's a Turtonator. Okay, that's very playable. It will be a little bit dicier than I'd like with how much energy is on that Giratina still, but I still have my Empoleon as well, so we'll try to win this one. As normal, we'll try to win. Wait, Brutal Swing. Are they not on the classic Dragon Claw moveset, or was that a bait? It might be Brutal Swing Overheat. Which, honestly, I could see that in a Tinkaton meta. You might actually want that as your moveset. But also, that could have just been like a crazy bait on their part. They might be going for that to try to throw me off and to try to sneak a Dragon Claw through now. So I'll shield this up just to make sure. They do Brutal Swing. But I think I survive. Unless they go for a Dragon Claw, I survive whatever they throw here. And if they do Dragon Claw, that's crazy that they have that. No, just Ancient Power. I do survive easily. We farm down. We have a Sky Attack, but we would lose CMP, so I'll still throw it for 4, just for good timing. Yeah, okay, there we go. Kind of a tricky lead in a way, but, I mean, Gigaton Hammer basically one-shot the A-Slash, so, I mean, I guess it's not that bad for Tinkaton now. Alright, next opponent. We'll see Tinkaton into Shadow Fortress. Okay, you know, maybe it's on Bug Bite, maybe it's, you know, less bad for us. We'll see. It is on Volt Switch, so not inherently the best moveset to see, but I bet Gigaton Hammer is still going to do quite a bit of damage. So I'm going to throw it. I'm going to see what they want to do. And then maybe we can chip it down enough where it's not as big of a problem for my backline. Yeah, that does a lot. That does quite a bit. Sandtomb does not one-shot us, but they are one away from the next Sandtomb right now. So keep that in mind. I'm going to go for a catch on the Sandtomb. That way I clear my debuff on my Tinkaton. I can keep my Tinkaton around for later on if I need to. And they should be 4 away from a Rock Tomb right now. So that's not terrible for us. They might come in with a Fairy type, I guess, if that's what they're doing. Yeah, makes sense. I wonder if they're on Ice Beam. That's always the question. I hate blind 3s so much half the time, because it's like, man, we have no idea if it's a Hydro Pump, a Play Rough, an Ice Beam coming through. I guess my defense has been dropped either way, so, like, it's gonna hurt no matter what they throw. But I would love to know, just, like, if they even had Hydro Pump, right? Okay. Well, Empoleon should wall basically everything they have here. We'll get to learn their moveset, I guess, so that's kind of cool. But a Hydro Pump would hurt. I really hope they don't have Hydro Pump right now. Ice Beam is never the play here, right? Ice Beam feels like the opposite of the play. But they do bank an Ice Beam, I guess. So keep that in mind. But I don't know why you'd Ice Beam in that matchup. I feel like that's crazy to me. But we'll see what happens here, because that Fortress is 1 away from a Sandtomb. Altaria here is just about at a Flamethrower right now. Hey, let me get this move off? Okay. I'm happy with that. I guess they want to build up energy to be able to go for, like, a Flamethrower into my Tinkaton later on. Get his shield down. If I can ever swap into my Altaria, which he can, and I don't know if this is a catch or not. We'll see if they reacted to it. If I caught a Flamethrower, this game is looking a lot more playable than it was a second ago. That's a Flamethrower if I've ever seen one. They do have a Sky Attack here. But I think... Man, I gotta shield something. I was gonna say, I think I could survive this, but dude, I gotta shield something this game. Okay. Azu comes back in. I hate this so much. I hate everything about this, but I think I have to shield this too. And I can build up a lot of energy here. Five. So they have another Ice Beam now. I don't know. This doesn't knock him out, so it probably doesn't get his shield. But I can bring back in my Empoleon. Okay, it's an Ice Beam that we just caught. I have energy on my Altaria. I don't know. I have some energy on Tinkaton too. But like Fortress just comes back in and Volt Switches us down. But luckily I think they only get one Volt Switch. And like I should guarantee to land a Hydro Cannon into them. What are they doing? I don't like this. Okay. Maybe that's a smart play on their part. They come in with Altaria, but I get to knock this out too. This should be enough to KO. And I'll get a Waterfall into the Fortress. Okay. Throw an Alignment, that's not the best play I could have done. But I don't think they're at back-to-back Rock Tomb plus Sand Tomb. I needed this Bulldoze off. Nice. So we can always do one Fairy Wind, see if they're in the Volt Switch, swap out, Sky Attack. And I hated this game. I absolutely hated this game. This was maybe the most technical game I've had to play in the entirety of Fantasy Cup. But I'm very glad I won it. It's a 4-1 set to start out with, which is, that's pretty good. I feel like Tinkaton is pretty good. I feel like it's a pretty good Pokemon. 2873, alright. Alright, next opponent. Tinkaton into Shadow Empoleon. Okay, if this is on Waterfall, then we don't have that bad of a matchup here, right? Because we end up outpacing the Bulldozes. And, I mean, these Fairy Winds are also doing some damage to them, which is pretty nice. We'll go for the Bulldoze. We'll see if they want to go for a shield here or not. I'd be very surprised to see a shield, but I'd be, fine with it if they did. They let it go. We get that 50-50 debuff chance. I was going to go there for a catch, but they throw on Alignment. I guess I shield this up. I don't love going down as shield here. I would have loved to catch instead, but, if they're going to throw an Alignment, that's fine by me too. Go for the Bulldoze now. They are at another Hydro Cannon, but I think this time if they end up throwing on Alignment, then I should be able to just farm down with my Empoleon. A shield makes sense. Okay. They don't love good timing, but that's fine. It is likely some sort of Dragon type in the back saying how they're playing this out. It seems like they're pretty scared of Tinkaton, but I'm not in a spot where I think I can consistently take it down, so I think that's fine. Hey, it's a Dragon type in the back. Who could have seen that coming? I'm going to go for the Drill Peck, though, immediately. I can go for a lot of chip damage here, hopefully put them into Dragon Breath down range, but honestly, I don't know if I could Dragon Breath down just yet. I'm going to go for another Waterfall and then try to, catch a Flamethrower. Doesn't quite work, but as long as they don't get to 2 Sky Attacks, I'm happy. They might get to 2 Sky Attacks, actually. We'll see. Is that 2-shot us from the Shadow? It would come close, yeah. They do farm us, so they get the next move before I farm down. That is a little bit tragic. That's the problem with the Shadow Altaria, is it does so much damage, and you don't quite do as much damage as you'd want against it sometimes. Turtonator. I'm very worried about the fast move pressure this game. If they throw energy here, though, that is a little bit of a mistake on their part. Oh, but wait. I only take one more Incinerate? They just Waterfall us down, don't they? Because they just swapped out immediately. They didn't take a single Waterfall on that thing. And I'm not going to be able to outpace them. I just get Waterfall down. Unless they, I don't know, don't. Yeah. The problem is, if I had more HP, I would get the full farm down. I'd have I'd have 2 moves to knock out the, Altaria, but we just Simul KO on that, so that's sad. Alright, we got our next opponent. We'll see Tinkaton into Shadow Steelix. Probably on Thunderfang. I don't love this at all. I don't know, though, if they're gonna be on, Earthquake or Crunch. I know they're gonna be on Psychic Fangs, right? They could even be on Breaking Swipe, I guess. It really depends on what are they trying to target with this. Bulldoze does some damage. I get a debuff as well. I mean, a debuffed Bulldoze is going to do some damage here. They're at 12. I'm so curious what they're about to throw into us, if anything. Because if it's not on Earthquake, their charge attack pressure actually doesn't do all that much. They're at 13. I'm going to no-shield. We'll see if I get one shot or not. Oh, we don't. Okay, that's good. So they're at 7, 8, 9. Okay. I think I'm fine taking this damage, and maybe I should swap into my Empoleon and try to clear my debuffs here, save some energy. Yeah, I like that. Because a Shadow Waterfall doesn't quite snipe him down. That's their answer? I needed to bait this out so bad. Hold on, that's crazy. What's in the back, then? I wish I could even fathom a guess here, but I don't know. Luckily, that Steelix is going to be in Dragon Breath downrange now, so it's not going to be that big of a problem. And despite the fact my waterfalls are resisted here, you can see they are still chunking quite a bit, right? They're at 9, so they could Hydro Pump us or maybe Play Rough. Really depends on what they want to do. Do they think I'm going to shield or not? I am going to shield, believe it or not. I don't want to be in a spot here where I have to deal with this Ozu with my Altaria. So we'll go for, yeah, the shield on the Hydro Pump. Nice. Okay. Okay. Well, we call the catch, I guess. They should be 1 away from another Play Rough. So, like, I can overfarm against Ozu if it comes back in. Or if we see the final Pokemon, we can decide what we want to throw. Oh. It might be an Ice Beam, or was I, like, 1 off in my counts? I might have been 1 off in the counts. No, it is an Ice Beam, but you know we can shield this and farm down anyway. Honestly, I don't think that's a bad play. It might just be a second Fairy in the back. And I'm close to a Gigaton Hammer. Oh, it's not? What is this? Dragon Tail Garchomp. Okay. That's crazy. I think we're in a pretty good spot, right? 2. Because they can't ever farm us down here. And if they no-shield a Bulldoze, they're going to be in Dragon Breath downrange. If they shield it up, then they're going to be in a spot where my next Hydro Cannon just knocks them out. We get the debuff, that's amazing. Yeah. Yep, we should be fine here. Shadow Garchomp is actually a really cool pick. That's basically Shadow Flygon, right? The only difference is, I don't know, I think Garchomp's a little bit squishier, but it's also just, you know, not gonna, it's not gonna do anything. I don't know. Okay, we'll take it, we'll take it. Arreo, okay, we're getting some tough opponents here. Probably also using Tinkaton, right? Yeah, well, actually in the lead, so not even something we have to guess about being in the back line. I can't even see the opposing Tinkaton. Our hammers are too big. I would imagine, is like straight Gigaton Hammer ever the play here? You at least bait it, right? I don't know if it's necessarily optimal to throw it full up, but we're going to try to. We'll see. Do they shield this? They don't. Oh my goodness, that's like 70% of their HP. Okay, okay. They bulldoze and I call it. That's huge as well. And I think I had 1 CMP, right? Yeah, that was a CMP. They do get the debuff on my defense stat, though. Which I don't necessarily love. Does this knock him out? Or do I lose the mirror going for the play I just made? Maybe you need the bulldoze debuff to win the zeros. Wow. I guess you learn something every day, don't you? I think that's fine, though. I doubt that there's something in the backline Tinkaton's all that good into. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, okay. We both simul-swap. Altered, purified Giratina? That's something that's definitely legitimate. We'll try our best here to just whittle this down, I guess, with Sky Attacks and Dragon Breaths. We actually get his shield? Okay. I don't like how much energy they have here, because that could be a return, technically, but I don't think a return knocks us out. And if they double Ancient Power, then we survive the first one anyway. I don't want to have a boost happen. Well, they're actually on Dragon Claw. So I do get to a second Sky Attack here. I wonder what their moveset is then, if they're on Dragon Claw, because oftentimes you don't see that. They have to throw energy, right? Or can they farm us down, maybe? Kingdra. I mean, I resist all the moves this thing throws, technically, but, like, in reality, an Outrage is going to one-shot us, so I think I have to shield this up. But if I double shield and I land 2 Drill Pecks, I think I'm fine. They do Swift Bait, which makes a lot of sense. Waterfall might be double resisted, but it is also kind of hurting quite a bit. And yeah, I guess, wait, my Tinkaton would have been insane in the backline. My Tinkaton would have just popped off here. Okay. I have to shield this up. There's no way around it. I'm worried that a catch opportunity might happen soon. I don't think they can switch just yet, though. No, so we do land this attack. And, I mean, at this point, I think my Tinkaton just wins the game. But we'll see, I guess. Maybe it doesn't. They did double bait, so maybe that's bad. But I go for the catch. The catch, even if we didn't have this game in the bag before, I think that should secure it now. Who do we come in with here? Probably the Tinkaton, right? I think it makes the most sense to come in Tinkaton, force energy at that Giratina, and then hopefully Empoleon just closes it out. Yeah, they end up throwing energy here. We'll see if it's on Shadow Sneak or not. They need to be on Shadow Sneak to do any real damage to either of my Pokemon here. It is on Shadow Sneak, alright. Okay, we don't even fall for the catch, so now it's not like there's even a one-turn, DRE win condition for them. We just go for the move. We knock out the Tina. And we get the win. That was actually probably a pretty clutch outrage catch. That would have been really bad if we didn't get that off. I think we would have lost the game. I'm glad we got that. I did not want to lose to the Purified Tina. I do not want to lose to Purified Tina ever. All right, next opponent. We'll see. Tinkaton into Dedenne. Okay, I guess this is kind of where I want to see it, right? Do I go for Gigaton Hammer, or do I Bulldoze first? I bet I Bulldoze first. I bet that's the way to play out this matchup. Just to make it a little bit uncomfortable for them. I'm going to throw a move before they get a defense boost off. And I can threaten Gigaton Hammers later on if I want to. Which, believe it or not, I do very much want to. Oh, they get a defense drop, and they're not throwing their energy, so that's not amazing for them. They're going to be in a spot now where the next Bulldoze could come close to knocking out. Whoa, discharge. Double discharge? Okay. I mean, that's even better, though, because their defense is still lowered. Bulldoze knocks out from here. I'm going to throw this before they can try to go for a catch. I mean, they could have caught then, but I don't think they would have expected it. Potentially, I should have built up more, but honestly, I do want this thing out of the way. I'm fine to waste a little bit of energy and not overfarm as much as I could, if it means that I can get that thing out of the way. Whoa, Sand Attack Shadow Flygon. That's kind of cool. I'm going to shield this up. It's probably a Sand Tomb if it's on Sand Attack. I mean, I've never seen Sand Attack, actually. I have no idea what the standard moveset is here, but I feel like that's probably the case. So might as well shield, get some more waterfall damage against them. I do still have my Tinkaton with a little bit of HP on it, just in case I want to, like, get a Gigaton Hammer off or something. I don't know. That could be kind of funny to do. You know what? I feel like a shield here isn't bad unless they get to a second move, which I don't think they do, because this is a little bit slower than what the other moveset normally is. Oh, but it's this in the back. Okay. I don't love that. I don't love that at all. ABA Fairy. Really not much wiggle room for Altaria this game, but, maybe there's still a chance here if they're not on Ice Beam especially. They're on Ice Beam. They had to be on Ice Beam. They just had to be on Ice Beam. Why? Yeah, they probably have us then. But we'll see what we can do. I don't know. If they get a little bit greedy here. Man, one Dragon Breath away from being able to get a second move off. If I got that second move off, then I'd be in such a good spot here. But maybe they think they'd CMP if they throw immediately? No, they do throw their energy. Oh, that's rough. That's rough. I was not expecting a second fairy. I was really hoping for a dragon in the backline. But that makes sense too, I suppose. I'm just too low. Oh, man. I should have just let my Tinkaton go down in the lead. I would have had pretty good alignment in the backline if I did that, but I got antsy, I saved it, and it wasn't a good play. Alright, next opponent. I gotta just learn when to stack my Tinkaton here. We'll see if we're... Oh, boy. Wait, that's bad. We'll see if we can win this one, actually. I feel like... Waterfalls... Oh, but they're on Mud Slap? Okay, I was not expecting that. Wait, but that's actually maybe fine. They come in with Azu here. That could set up like a farm down later on for my Tinkaton. And the best thing about this, too, is my Altaria avoids this, so that's good. I'm glad they swapped out. They could have probably just stayed in there if they wanted to, and that wouldn't have been great. 7. Okay, so they're probably just going to build up to 100 energy, which is a very smart play. But it's also, I think, fine if they do that. 8. 9. I could try to shield this and fight for a switch, but I don't think it matters that much. I'll no-shield this, force a Play Rough or a Hydro Pump. Okay. So they should be at 3. 4. 5. 6, 7. I think I'm going to shield this up, because I can go for Bulldoze into Shadow Excadrill, and that's still going to do quite a sizable amount of damage if they end up letting it go. 2, or 3 rather. Wait, do I just get to 3 Bulldozes here before they get to what they need to? I think I do. What? Did they not think a Bulldoze would one-shot? It's a Shadow Excadrill. What comes in? Okay, Togetic is not the best thing to see, but like, what if I get a little bit tricky here? What if I go a little bit out of the box and I go for a Bulldoze bait? I get a debuff as well. Okay. I gotta make them drain energy, I guess. Maybe it's a bad play to come in here. If they're on Psyshock, this is good. If it's Gleam, less so. I tried to catch a Heat Wave. Psyshock is huge. 8, I believe. So they should be at 4 right now. So 1 away from a Psyshock or a Heat Wave. Well, that's fine, I guess. Because I honestly don't need the energy on my my Altaria here. And I should be able to farm this down, actually, too, with my Azumarill, or my Altaria. Yeah, okay. And I think I just force them to throw energy against us. I don't think they can Fairy Wind down before I get to 2 Sky Attacks. And if I get his shield down, or if I force energy out of him, my Tinkaton should be able to close out this game. They do throw energy there, which is actually a pretty smart play. I'm going to shield this up. Might be a terrible move. But it's not if they don't throw. I'm not in Heat Wave range on my Tinkaton. I'm so close to a Gigaton Hammer as well. It's going to be very much overkill at this point from this range. But, like, I'd rather guarantee the win if I can. At this point, this should be a Heat Wave, but that's probably not going to do 60% of a Tinkaton's HP, right? They need 2 attacks. Yeah, I mean, that does a decent chunk, honestly, but Tinkaton's not a squishy Pokemon. It's got some bulk to it. You combine that bulk with the pacing that you get to Gigaton Hammer thanks to Fairy Wind, you get a pretty good Pokemon, as long as you're not getting hard-walled, so we'll take it. That's a 3-2 set here, too. Kyogre! Oh my goodness. Fun fact, Gigaton Hammer is a clone of Kyogre's signature move, Origin Pulse, but it's a Steel type, and it's on a Pokemon in Great League, which is why it's such a strong Pokemon. If I can catch this, you know, that'd be great. But it's an insane move. It's got really good damage for energy. It is a little bit expensive, but with Fairy Wind, you don't even notice how expensive it can be. Let's cash that in. That gets us nearly back into the 2900s. Dude, Tinkaton's awesome. Yeah, I mean, after playing the battles today and seeing how much raw damage Gigaton Hammer can do, I mean, it's 2-shotting Azu, 1-shotting a lot of neutral matchups as well. I don't know, man. This move's going to be insane. I'm excited to see if it's going to be a Pokemon that actually has a lot of play in the Open Great League meta. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.